Hello, I'm Jenny. Every video I upload is just my personal analysis as a Weak Hero fan, so if you think this deep dive is too much, feel free to hit the back button. So, Korea recently released an official script book for Weak Hero Class 1, and I'm not sure if there's an English version available yet. Reading through it has given me so much insight into both the directing choices and the characters themselves. That's why I wanted to create this audio for international Weak Hero fans who can't access the script book, sharing the behind the scenes, details I've discovered, and my personal thoughts about them. Quick disclaimer, the publisher has strict rules against sharing photos from the script book online, so to respect copyright. This audio will only contain my personal thoughts and interpretations. Remember that adrenaline-pumping scene in Class 1 when Si-eun destroys Yongbin and Woo-young at Jiseong High, then returns to Beok-san to take down Beom-seok, Jong-chan, and Taehoon? Remember when Si-yoon picks up that red fire extinguisher? I've always wondered about Si-yoon's weapon progression. His starter pack includes books, pens, scissors, dumbbells. But why did he end with a fire extinguisher? Reading the script book finally revealed the symbolic meaning behind this choice. Directionally, the red fire extinguisher symbolizes Soo-ho. Think about Soo-ho's red t-shirt and windbreaker. When Si-eun grabs the fire extinguisher, it's a visual metaphor for avenging the people who put Soo-ho in that hospital bed. Class 1 is essentially a prequel explaining why Si-eun became such an almost emotionally shut-down boy before transferring to Yoonjung High. Through the stories of Si-eun, Soo-ho, and Beom-seok, it tracks Si-eun's emotional growth. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. And because they had to pack such deep emotional development and solid storytelling into just 8 episodes, literally every scene and directorial choice has meaning. From here on, I'm sharing my personal interpretations. After reading the script book and rewatching Weak Hero Class 1 multiple times, this might include some uncomfortable topics, so just a heads up that there could be triggers related to violence or sexual orientation. I think the most interesting character in Season 1 is Beom-seok. Without him, the friendship between these boys couldn't have ended so catastrophically. Since the plot progresses through this catastrophe, portraying Beom-seok's destructiveness required both brilliant acting and making his emotional journey believable to viewers. In this respect, Weak Hero did an exceptional job portraying Beom-seok's complex psychology. Reading through this script book, I noticed something interesting. While the drama never explicitly discusses Beom-seok's sexual orientation, and sexuality isn't the theme of this show at all, I personally think the directing subtly hints that Beom-seok may have had romantic feelings for Soo-ho. Remember when Si-eun, Soo-ho, and Beom-seok played pocketball together? Si-eun goes home, but Soo-ho and Beom-seok head to the Han River to drink beer, a scene that was recently released as deleted footage. Watching this scene, you can really feel how much Beom-seok admires Soo-ho and desperately wants to get closer to him. When reading through the script book, I found fascinating details about the characters. There's actually a stage direction that says, Beom-seok smiles shyly, enjoying Soo-ho's arm around his shoulder as they walk together. Another direction notes that while drinking beer by the river, he agrees with and laughs at whatever Soo-ho says. I think I understand why this scene was ultimately cut. They were carefully calibrating how intensely to portray Beom-seok's admiration for Soo-ho, and maybe this scene pushed it a bit too far. Of course, now that the deleted scene has been released, we have a better understanding of Beom-seok's psychology. There's also that scene before meeting Soo-ho, Young-i, and Si-yoon at the cafe, where Beom-seok is in his room fixing his clothes. And hair while checking Soo-ho's Instagram. To me, this directing gave off vibes of someone wanting to look perfect before a first date with a guy they're trying to impress. They never portrayed Si-eun this way. As the director revealed, Soo-ho was indeed Si-eun's first love. Not in a romantic sense, but as a symbolic metaphor for someone who created massive emotional turbulence and growth in Si-eun's life. But I personally think the directing subtly suggests that Beom-seok actually did have romantic feelings for Soo-ho. Beom-seok is much more sensitive and emotionally complex than Si-yoon or Soo-ho. The trigger that transforms his admiration and affection for Soo-ho into hatred is perfectly captured when he discovers Young-i and Soo-ho follow each other on Instagram, and when he sees the photo of Young-i with Soo-ho and his grandmother at Soo-ho's home. Of course, this emotional shift is a complicated mix of feelings. His sense of inferiority, feeling dismissed by Soo-ho, and hurt that Soo-ho doesn't consider him as important as Si-eun or Young-i. The way they directed Beom-seok's jealousy when seeing a girl who's so close with Suho can be interpreted as an expression of his love for and jealousy toward Suho. Episode 7. When Beom-seok and Yongbin's group kidnap Young-i, Beom-seok's words absolutely broke my heart. He asks Young-i, "Are you dating An Suho? Relationships are all about give and take. That guy lets you sleep at his house and gives you a job. What have you given Suho in return?" Suho may not have grown up with parents, but he received unconditional love from his grandmother. Beom-seok never experienced that kind of love. That's why he can't even comprehend Suho's kindness toward Young-i without assuming Young-i must be providing something in return as a woman. Also, the scene where Beom-seok goes to a table of girls at the club with Jongchan's group and asks if they want to have a drink, the directing suggests to me that Beom-seok isn't particularly interested in girls. He approaches their table just to feel like he belongs with Jongchan and Taehoon's crew. There's zero hint of any heterosexual intention. Here's something interesting I discovered while really diving deep into Weak Hero. After Suho becomes comatose, Young-i goes to Beom-seok's house to confront him, blocking his car and causing a scene. In the original script, Beom-seok slaps Young-i after saying, "We were getting along just fine before you came along, but this wasn't included in the final cut." Here's a funny bit. In episode 2, when Suho and Beom-seok rescue Si-eun from Seok Days gang, and the three of them go to eat meat at Suho's workplace, there was supposedly a scene of all three riding Suho's motorcycle that wasn't released. I really wish I could see it. Apparently they were crossing one of the bridges over the Han River with the sunset in the background. I'm guessing Beom-seok rode in the back, Suho in the middle, steering, and Si-eun in front. Just imagining it. Makes me smile! Finally, I've always wondered why Suho lives alone with his grandmother. Compared to Si-eun and Beom-seok, we don't get much backstory about Suho's family situation in the drama, but I learned from a director interview that Suho's parents run a restaurant in Japan that isn't doing well, which is why he lives with just his grandmother. The director mentioned that Suho had to grow up quickly, becoming mature at a young age. I'll upload more audio when I discover more behind-the-scenes stories. Thanks for listening!